We're back for another video. It's now Monday the 17th. We just took one trade today. I want to talk about that here in 1 second, but this video is going to be about my biggest investing lesson over the past. Now we're coming up, well, as we speak right now, it is going to be about 8 years since I first took interest and first started putting money in my own account. I think at the time my dad had to like co-sign or whatever, but I started investing 8 years ago, pretty much to the day around the summertime, back when I was in high school. Okay, glare aside, first things first, we got a little PLTR. This is what I'm testing out in the Roth account. I'm testing out a swing trade strategy, okay? So we're breaking out here. It's a breakout strategy, okay? So I took a trade there. It's up a little bit. We'll see if that plays out, but that's got weeks to go. So that'll be kind of like a back burner deal. Today's trade was on AMD. Earlier today, if you look at the 1 hour chart, I'm basing off of this after last week, too much kind of shit going on. I just was like, yo, the 1 hour chart's got to be the look. AMD looked pretty good. It actually was breaking down below a couple of levels, below these lows, below this level, had this massive pop and then gave it all back. So that doesn't look the strongest, so I'm okay. And I like downside here if it presents, and it did. The presentation of the downside was right here. So we had this low and I took the trade once we were about 15 minutes into the open, like to the minute essentially. And I took the trade on the breakdown here, got a nice little move. I took 2/3 of my position off. I then had at around 10-11%. I then had a stop loss at break even on the last 1/3, which ended up getting taken out. And then I had a take profit for the last 1/3 at around 20%, which would have been like if AMD got down to like right here, that probably would have gotten taken out, but it did not. So it was like a partial take profit. I'm gonna take that and walk away for now. Take it nice and easy. I'm gonna be going away on Saturday. So this is the last week of trading for July, but not trying to do anything, too crazy here. Okay, well, while I have a few minutes, because I'm probably not gonna trade the rest of the day, I just finished up one thing that I had to set aside. I will now be taking the dog out for a walk. She's still sleeping, but I'm gonna take her out for a walk, and then I'm gonna come back, eat lunch, and do the rest of today's tasks before we hop on a live stream in a couple hours. That is the plan. That's what we're gonna try to do. The biggest thing that I wanna start into with this is that this has been, or this lesson, if you will, it's more so of like kind of a point of view, right? It has really changed over the years in a massive way. I am someone, as I've talked about before on live streams and videos, that used to always feel like he needed to put his money to work because you grow up watching financial YouTube, the Graham Steffens, the Meet Kevins, and I guess he's fairly new, if you will, but you'd watch all of these people over the course of your starting journey, or at least that's where that was my generation when I was kind of getting into like high school and stuff. I'm like, oh, these are the big names. And, in college. But you have this weird feeling that you always have to have your money at work. You can't be, cash is trash, right? And to a degree, I totally feel that, but that can also get you into a lot of trouble if you don't have a little bit of discipline. And that takes time to develop. You don't just immediately have discipline the second you start investing or trading or whatever you want to say. That takes time to develop. And I think that discipline is what sets the stage for you to actually be able to compound and know how to put your money to work properly. Buddy, you ready to go? You ready to go for a walk? Yeah, you've been sleeping all morning. You've been sleeping here all morning. What are you doing? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're a sleepy pup. You can sleep if you want. You don't have to go right now. Oh yeah. Lunch today, we got some apples. We got some turkey burgers. Pretty solid. It's now Tuesday. Take a look at today's trade. I didn't size very large because I don't really play DIA that much, but it's a pretty quiet day across most large caps. Actually, I say that Microsoft just got some news and some partnership with Meta, so those are going crazy, but that happened like recently, which was like midday. So Here it was a big push up, broke out on the bigger time frames, new high of the year, which was this blue line, I believe, or around there. Then this 348 level was or 348.20. Resistance, played the break above. I played it small size, so it wasn't a huge win because I haven't played DIA that much, so I wasn't like super confident. Like when you play a new stock, I would prefer to size smaller to get used to it if I'm gonna trade it more. So that was that. So it worked out pretty good. Nothing insane, but I'll take the green day. Penn State fly fishing. Funny story, I've actually bought this shirt back when I was like a sophomore or even maybe a freshman in college. And I still have it today, to this day, which many, many years later, believe it or not. But it was like 10 bucks. Which is hilarious. I thought that was a funny shirt. I've never actually fly fished in my entire life, but it's a funny shirt. It's a club at Penn State, and I was like, this is a cool shirt for 10 bucks. Sure. Okay, but I want to build off this discipline thing. So this whole discipline idea and this whole, I don't know, if you will, like thought process behind discipline. If you think about society today, a lot of people are not disciplined, generally speaking, like a lot of people aren't. And you get into kind of like the business entrepreneurial push, go hard, you know, even like the David Goggins, like work hard, whether it's working out, whether it's in business or this or that, or skills you're learning, like that's becoming more prevalent. Like people are getting more into that. So it's getting better than what it has been in the past. I think that's a good thing because in all aspects of life, I think discipline is important because, you know, people want the instant gratification and it doesn't always work out that way. And many times the things that are that bring the most enjoyment, they aren't the easiest to get, right? So that said, when it comes down to it, when it comes to money, I was always someone who felt like I had to get money out the door, and when it comes in, immediately get it back out, get it going. My investment strategy nowadays is if I feel like that FOMO, if you will, then what I will do is I will take that money and I'll put it into a ETF, diversified ETF, a dividend ETF, and potentially sell covered calls. So I can at least cash flow off of it. So I know the money's going to work and I can get something off the back of it, right? It can cash flow me. But the idea of cash is trash for the average person who has all their money in a savings account. Like, yeah, that's stupid. That's just straight up stupid. And I've heard the side of a lot of people who hate the game because it's all a game, right? The way money works is all a game. Money, you know, really drives everything at the end of the day in the world and economy and everything. But if your money is sitting in a savings account earning 0.00001% interest, you are not playing the game to get yourself ahead at all. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage, and it's like for no reason. Unless you can make tons of money and then you don't really care and you want absolutely no risk and you have a way to make a ton of money that's active or whatever or passive, and that's always coming in, then do you really give a shit about your investments? Like maybe you don't. I can see that for some, but like let's be honest, the majority of us are not thinking that way, especially if you're watching this video. So you have to learn to play into the game. But the thing is, when you play the game, there's a lot of ways you can lose, right? When you start playing the game. So this is where you have this like back and forth of, well, they tell me I gotta play the game, so I gotta invest, I gotta get money to work. But there's also times when you should be sitting back and disciplined to not do something. Or do the same thing every single day. Or do the same thing every single month. So for example, dollar cost averaging into a long-term position every single month. That's something that I was I always knew that's how you get rich slow, and it was kind of like in a slight background, but it's become more of a piece to the portfolio and my like actual investing strategy like nowadays, because I'm not an idiot. I know that if I do this, I'm playing the long game, and this is a proven way to win in the long game. Now, when it comes to the short game, and trying to leapfrog other people, or just trying to leapfrog or jump ahead, right? And make money in the short term. This is where the discipline comes in, because I don't think the cash is trash saying or mindset is a really good way to frame yourself. When you do that, when you think that, what you end up kind of feeling is this FOMO to always be involved. For example, the market's ripping up. It's a time that I think now to relax, not to go aggressive, instead of trying to get overly aggressive and trying to make and push. Because you can get caught up, and I have been caught up. I've lost a lot of money, made a lot of money, lost a lot of money, because I just didn't understand that there are times, there are seasons, there's seasonality, and there are cycles to the game. Do they repeat the exact same way? Not all the time. But you have to start to understand where we are in the game at this season, this cycle, and then your risk reward. So I think of it from a risk reward standpoint. The more the market goes higher, the lower the reward is and the higher the risk is. And so as that continues to happen, that's great. Doesn't mean short the market, no. But what it means is that this is where you want to be more defensive and you're not holding positions that are risky. You're holding less leverage and maybe you're holding more cash potentially, right? When it's on the flip side, the risk reward is skewed. Like for example, I think the bond market, and I say to myself, like TLT, the risk reward has been very attractive the past couple of weeks, past couple of days, specifically in the past couple of months in general, because what are we talking about here? How Fed raises rates a little bit more versus, what could happen of a possible recession, and they'll have to cut eventually, substantially. Or if they don't, if we don't have a recession, they might just like slowly cut. And so TLT will just kind of inch back up and could be a good trade or investment for the next couple of years. So the risk reward there is nice. The more it goes up though, the worse that risk reward profile gets. And so over the years, I've built this risk reward mindset where you have to just kind of double check your risk reward and then check yourself to make sure that you're aligned, your positioning is aligned, and your cash and your investments are aligned with what makes sense. And if you don't feel like you have a good feel on the risk reward, that's where cash is totally fine. Let's be honest. How long is it gonna really be until there's another opportunity? Maybe the stock market gets crushed. Maybe, I don't know, this sector gets destroyed. Maybe bonds do something. And then there's the opportunity for a really good risk reward on the flip side of that. But many times I would have been over leveraged or all the money is out into things. And then now I'm spread thin. That opportunity presents, I go a little bit into it, that makes money, it works, but everything else gets destroyed, or I lose a lot of money everywhere else, and now I've lost more than I've made because I was an idiot and I was holding higher risk, lower reward positions when I should have just locked gains and started to trim myself to then I have opportunity or I have cash for when a high reward, lower risk opportunity presents, if that makes some sense. And it's the discipline to learn how to handle yourself, your own emotions and your own money so that you're in those, you put yourself in position for those opportunities. So it's not some like cliche, dumb, advice. Don't go on margin. Don't do this. Don't buy options. That's not my biggest, most important thing here. It's more about understanding yourself, how your own mind and emotions connect and work, and then what that leads to your actions. Checking those actions over the course of years and understanding what your tendencies are so that you can correct that or put yourself in a better position when you start noticing certain things happening again in your own head, and then connecting that back to what you're seeing on the charts or throughout, the cycle that we're in or the season that we're in for whatever we're looking at, whatever investment class, if you will. Finish the stream, finish the trades for today. Repping a fresh Gymshark shirt today. Just picked this up, they had a recent sale. Pretty nice, Can't complain, a little pink, but I like it. A little snack here, best protein bars in the game. These are legit. They have them at the grocery stores here in Texas, but you can get them online. Far and away the best protein bar I've ever had. When it comes to protein powder, I'm still on the hunt. You cannot convince me, as of right now, based off what I have tried, that there is a good protein powder out there. I haven't had one. There's some that are more tolerable than others. That's what I'll say. This is a good protein bar. Yeah, there's some honey, there's some actual sugar in there. It tastes fucking good. It doesn't taste gross. But let's take a look at today's trade. Who would have thought Mr. Dow Jones, the dirty Dow Jones. So today's trade, I was really interested here. Obviously, we got some strength in Dow. Dow's been strong. Daily chart has been a beast. If we take a peek at that, breaking out to new highs on the year. So we had that context. Great. So played this move where I actually entered on this candle. Okay, the breakout of new highs. Okay, I was actually trying to get in on this candle to get a little better risk reward. Why? because I saw this little volume guy down here, this volume bar right here coming in after a consolidation on VWAP, showing me strength, push up towards highs. Great, we got the break and it went for more. I'll take it. This trade worked out pretty well. I took profits. I believe I got like 10%, somewhere up in here. I think I took profits off at like 11 or 12% on the first contract, and the next contract somewhere up here at like 18 to 20%. And then that was it. So I played in the money contracts, played at pretty small size, and it worked. I'm gonna take it light to finish off the week because our track record hasn't been great on Thursday and Friday. Go back to last month. Green early, not green late. That's continuing so far again this month. But look at this. One trade, okay? We're at 26 on the month. The goal was to be under 30. We look to be on pace for that. Technically, there's one more day when I come back, the 31st. So we'll be around the 30, like the 30 mark. Not gonna push it, but if we get opportunities that look really good, I will take them on these days. So we will see, and I will let you know what happens. We have broken the Thursday red streak. I'll pop it up on the screen, but this week, or today, was a good day. It was two for two, fairly small size, but they equated to, you know, a decent, or actually I think tied or up there with the highest, largest green day for the month of July. Tomorrow is gonna be an interesting day because I got some packing to do, plus I wanna finalize other work and stuff. This camera is like slightly off. This thing is awesome. Like, now that I think about it, like, oh, just digging in, dude, to like all of my, I've had some shoulder issues in the past, like back here. Oh my God, it's been digging in, especially my trap up here too. I've been loving this thing. But that said, I even took a third trade on my Robinhood account. Watch, holy shit, that thing crushed it. I mean, we just had like, we're just getting a nice downside day. And the funny thing, the Dow is up. You knew it was coming at some point, but it just like, it's really just being there when it's happening. And just so happens that I was lucky to be at the desk. I took the two trades earlier this morning. It was Tesla and AMD, they worked nice. And then I had a trade on QQQ this afternoon on my Robinhood account, just because, it was small size, just because I was like, well, I don't want to give away, you know, gains here. Plus that account's mostly long, so I kind of looked at it as like a hedge, bought like 2 week out contracts. The trade went up like more than 10%, you know, within an hour, so I just locked it in. And it essentially exceeded the targets that I was looking for if it was to work, and it pretty close to stopping out, but it didn't. So that was it. So the strat is working, especially if you're just patient. I think that this week has been a much better week in terms of patience. 4 for 4 green. Do I want to fuck it up tomorrow? Do I really care to think about it like that? I probably shouldn't. But tomorrow, something's gotta freaking slap me in the face and just look beautiful, like I've said for the prior days. It's gotta do that for me to take the trade. So that's where we're at, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. We want to pick up mom. Yeah. I just want to go on the record, and Honey is a witness here, that I-35 is the worst fucking highway of all time. There is not a worse highway. That when I hear 35, if it comes on, oh, I gotta take 35 today, I want to throw up. I will look for alternate routes, and it's just, there is no highway that I dislike more than this fucking highway. Doesn't matter where you are, what time of day, this is the fucking deal, all the time. Honey, what do we do? What do we do? 5 for 5 on green days. 5 for 5 green days this week. Pretty good. Pretty happy with it. We finished up July trading. I'm gonna have a full recap for the month in like a week. It'll be posted up on the channel. Super good. I'm about to catch, in like 12 hours, no less, 18 hours. Get on the flight to Newark at 6 a.m. it leaves, so gotta be there at like 5:30ish. Boarding's like 5:25, whatever. That said, off the beach, visit family. The Robinhood's at around 10.8, hasn't really moved much. Not super surprising. Market's kind of gone up and then it's come back a little bit and just chilling where it is. But super happy with how that trading finished for this month. Hopefully the video was helpful. Hopefully you learned something, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm off.